Hey, everybody. Welcome. Happy Tuesday. Boy, it was tough to slow down with some Tracy Chapman, right after the pink. Woo! That got me excited, y'all. A lot of us ladies, I was watching you move out there. A lot of us are going to the pink concert. We're pretty jazzed about it. Thank you, Nico, for that. Becky, what do we got tonight?
I just was typing in the chat. If anybody has experience in Pierce County with either the mental health system, the judicial system, and or addiction support services, please contact me. I'm going to type my phone number and my email in the chat too, but I'm going to be participating in a couple of focus groups. And Pierce County is really wanting to revamp how they are handling these things. So all of your input will be really, really important. So please contact me. Let's talk. Love to hear what your experiences are. And besides that, mom's group tomorrow, 11 a.m. on Zoom. If you don't have the link, contact Angie or me. Becky at battlefielladdiction.com, Angie at battlefielladdiction.com. Other ways, Angie?
Text, Facebook, however you contact me. If you need the Zoom link, I'll get it to you.
Yeah, 11 a.m.
All ladies.
Every Wednesday, pretty much, right?
Yes. Yeah. So join us tomorrow. If you've never joined us, ladies, and you're available tomorrow, join us for 1 hour. Just an opportunity for us to get to know each other, talk about the topic from the night before, and it's a great time. So definitely join us.
And then next week, you're going to talk about next week?
Next week is in-person solution group. So all of you guys that are local, we want to see you live in person at Orion Industries in Auburn again. So that's next Tuesday. And then next Wednesday is our group coaching. So if you haven't registered yet for group coaching and you can make it, you'll want to get registered before we fill up. There's a lot of people who have already registered early, so make sure you get registered. You just go to our website. There's no cost. We just limit the number of seats. So you just go to our website, battlefielladdiction.com, click on events, click on group coaching, get yourself registered next Wednesday night. It's going to be a good time. It's 6 o'clock, not to be confused with 7 o'clock solution groups. And then two other things. Let me mute somebody here. Okay. Two other things to note, just a heads up again, a reminder that our Run for Recovery is coming up on May 13th. It's our 4th annual run or walk for recovery. You can walk, you can stroll, you can take your time, or you can make it a competition. It's really up to you. If you're long distance, there's virtual options. So for all of you out of state, we want you to participate as well. So there's lots of options. Again, you just go to our website, click on events, and you're going to see how to register. But we have these awesome posters that just arrived. They're super cool. So I'm going to have these next week in the in-person solution group for all of you guys who have maybe big bulletin boards at work. You can hang them up. If you frequent the local coffee shops or whatever, and they allow posters in the windows, we want to get these up in the local area everywhere. So we want to just canvas as many places as possible. So for those of you willing to take some, maybe you just want to take 10 and just commit to hanging those up. That would be great. Let's get the word out. We've also got smaller sizes and that we can get in your hot little hands to hand out everywhere you go to. And they have the QR code. It makes it really easy for people to register. So we will get those in your hands next week at our in-person solution group. All right, that's it for announcements. Let's go over to the crew. Thank you, Becky. Let me. Not giving me the same option. Hold on here. Got a weird thing on the top of my screen here. Let me go back to you guys. Hey guys. All right. So if you're new out there tonight, let me introduce you to Mr. Kyle Munkers. He is a manager over there at Rebuild Recovery, but he's also our comedian who brings us Kyle's corny comedy to start us out for the night. So take it away, Kyle.
Okay. That guy Pink is pretty good. Yeah, it's a great singer.
Did you hear what he said, Ange?
That
guy's a good
guy,
singer. Yeah.
the guy that was falling.
No, the guy the guy who was
You
singing.
gotta say different, Kyle. You gotta say that dude pink.
That dude Pink was good.
Why are you saying that? How dare you? How dare
Because
you?
he is a beast.
Why are you? How dare you? Y'all.
He could whoop my
My
ass.
Pink. Oh no.
All right.
Don't talk about my Pink like that. She is a badass. I will tell you that. She
He
is.
is.
She's gorgeous. And she's a
Yeah,
badass.
Yeah. All right. You know, if women, despite you know them maybe being crazy every now and then, if women were to disappear from the face of the earth, it'd be a real pain in the ass, literally.
I don't get it.
For men. For men.
Because we'd all be having sex with each other. Oh! See, that's what you guys would do. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
You guys saw it right away. Check yourself.
All right. I've been talking to this girl online. She said, Kyle, am I your dream woman? Dream woman? And I said, yeah, you know, you're so much more. She said, how much more? I said, about 40 pounds. A big girl. Here's the best one of the night right here. A buddy of mine went to the ER. He's been there for a few days. They took x-rays. He had 7 horse figurines up his rectum. But they say he's stable. It gets better. What's yellow, and if it was to get in your eye, would kill you? A school bus. It's just like, what's... Nah.
I don't get it.
Get a school bus in your eye, see what happens. You know, if you donate 1 kidney, you're a hero. But if you donate 5, they call the police, and then there's some yelling, and then they kick you out of the hospital. Why do you have 5 kidneys?
Oh, okay. I guess that's a stone project. The legs fell off that one.
A buddy of mine went to his wife, and he said, babe, I have a problem. And she said, honey, I am your wife. We are a unit. Your problem is my problem. It's our problem. He said, well, we got the neighbor pregnant. As I said earlier, I've kind of been talking to, online to women. Been on this certain app. Actually set up a threesome the other day. Got 2 no-shows, but I still had a great time. 2 whales in a bar. First whale goes. "Rrrr, rrrr." Second whale says, "What the fuck, dude? You're way too drunk."
That's a good joke.
Speaking of, my uncle used to say, Kyle, you're not that drunk if you can still pronounce your name spelled backwards. I said, gee, thanks, Uncle Bob. A while ago, I was going through a hard time, and I actually had, at one point, called the suicide hotline. It was outsourced to a place in Iraq. They got really excited and asked me if I knew how to drive a bus.
Jesus.
All right, last one. I was at the doctor, and the doctor said, Kyle, do you at least play some sports? I'm like, well, does making love count as a sport? And he goes, yes. I said, then no.
Thank you, Kyle.
Anyone log off after that one?
Well, we did say Kyle's corny comedy. I mean, Oh,
Yeah,
thank God.
we didn't say Kyle's offensive comedy though.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Well,
All
the good
right.
news that you're offended. The good news is, if anyone's offended, they could sit there and be offended. It's good news, you know. That's what you get to be tonight. Congratulations.
We are 100% responsible for the way that we feel.
Yes,
Right?
there you go.
Oh, gosh.
You know,
All
I always
right.
knew. Huh?
Go ahead.
You hear me?
She's still talking about pink.
She's a fanatic.
She has pink in both eyes.
I am.
Good one,
I'm a
Logan.
little obsessed with pink. I am. That's true.
It's a healthy obsession. It's okay.
Yeah. Oh. Before we get started, Ange, do we have any new people on tonight? Or
Let me just scan
I'm-
the pages. I see a Tracy that I'm not sure if we've met before because the camera's not on, so I'm not sure. It's just a first name, so I'm not positive.
Aunt. We're getting reports from the crowd that it's Andy's aunt.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Okay. Hi, Andy's aunt. Aunt Tracy. Very good. We've got, I believe it's Ryan's dad. David might be on. His camera's not on, but I believe he's on tonight. Ryan Becker. So welcome, David. Glad you're here. And I hope I'm not missing anybody that's new tonight. Andy's parents are on. They were on last week, so not brand new, but newer. And I don't think there's anybody brand new out there, but hopefully I didn't miss anybody.
Okay, so, you know, I think when people tune in, I think when people bring their families here, and I think when you guys get here, you know, it's a very odd thing to just come in the middle of this thing. And what you need to understand is that, you know, that this conversation that we started 10 years ago, and we really did. 10 years ago, there began to be a point where there was people and coming, and it wasn't that we just went, okay, we're going to take what was regurgitated from everywhere else and just buy into it. We said we're going to make something here that's original, and the way it's original is that just like anything that's original, and I expect this, and I hope that you guys see this from your own perspective, because this is what's wanted in this evolutionary growth of you, and what you should be thinking about is what happens when you get to a place where you decide that your thinking and your thoughts have led you down a path that isn't been very effective in your life, and you've come to a place, whether it's a family, whether it's you all, whether it's an addict or a family or a whole thing, you've gotten to a point in your life where something needs to change, and then you come to this determination that kind of these thoughts that run through my head and the way I think and the way my mind talks negatively, however it is going for you, that you would need space from that. That you would come here, and that's kind of the premise that this is that you would come here, and then what you want first is you want what I call fresh soil. And so part of the beginning of this thing was that we have an ability to, through a mindfulness practice, we have an ability to clear out our heads. And we rebel against thinking. So we rebel against our old thoughts and all that. And the way that you do that is you become present. You leave your mind. You actively leave your mind, and you practice doing that. And it's so indicative of what we need to do, because we see what we were trying to do. What gets smashed when we do drugs? Where do we go? Well, that's why we did them. We leave our mind, and we enter into this realm of the current moment, and we enjoy life in that fashion when we did drugs, and that worked for a long time until it didn't. And so at this point you come ill-equipped, because my drugs were my solution to enjoy life. My drugs were my solution to leave my mind, and now I don't have one, and now I'm in here. And so now there has to be another point where I can at least establish a place where I can leave my mind. And then you learn to leave your mind. That creates space. But what you're doing in here is you're cleaning it up. You imagine a dirty pool that hasn't been cleaned up for years. It's just filled with leaves and everything. That's our minds. And that's the resentments, and that's the past and everything. And what we're doing here is, to start with, is you want to initiate this space between you and that kind of thinking, and you and those thoughts. And you do it through attaching to the present moment. So eventually it gets clear. Well, now what you need is you need new information. So now if it's just clear in there and you can leave your mind, well, that's very good. But what now is going to renew the mind? What is going to bring in new stuff? A lot of people would say Scripture renews the mind. So you read Scripture and the Scripture comes in. I believe that's very beneficial to a lot of people. That's how they renew their mind. That's how they put new thoughts in. But here we got teachings. Here we got ways to practice life, ways to handle life, ways to remain constant through your life and take it on as it comes. And so this is kind of like, and then what you do is you start bringing in new information, whether that's through books or here or AA or NA or solution group or whatever you're grabbing onto. And that new information comes in. It gets planted in this clean soil because you've pulled all the weeds of resentment and the weeds of negativity and the weeds of, whoa, I owe this person money and I need to pay them back. And you've done all this stuff to kind of create this soil. And then hopefully these new thoughts, books, learnings, Scripture, whatever it is that you're putting into your mind begins to grow stuff. And what's original then is, what makes it original is when those new thoughts get watered by your thoughts. And then what you do is you produce something out of that formula. So that's what's happened here. So the way that you're learning the information here is, we're not plagiarizing here. We've taken Buddhism, we've taken mindfulness, we've taken whatever learning of the Landmark Forum or Michael Singer or Eckhart Tolle, and we've put that into a clean split thoughts here, and then we water it with our thoughts, and then you end up, it produces something unique. It produces it in a way that you can look at it. And that's what we should be after. You guys, everyone should be after in their life, because I want to self-express, and I want to get things out, and I want what I say to be something from me. I don't want it to be what that guy said. I don't want to regurgitate. I don't want to just mimic. I want to actually be able to be a person who can put thought into great ideas and have ideas, and then actually produce those out into the world and have them manifest. And so that's kind of what we have here, is like this gymnasium of equipment that you can uniquely use, and that you can do it your way. And I kind of like, this is a tour. This is a tour of this gymnasium and what we have to offer. And tonight I hope that maybe people could ask questions about that, or people could talk about that, so that or get coaching or whatever it is. But that's what this is. So if you're wondering what this is what I intend it to be. And it doesn't always be that way, but I intend it to be that way. I intend it to be a place where if I can spark a thought in you, and you can put your own original thought to it, well, now we're working into something. Now you're able to change your life through this new thinking. So a lot of the times we've been talking about power, and we're talking about responsibility for relationship. And I want to say it in a different way tonight. I want to say, what I'm trying to get across to people here and to families and to everyone, what I'm trying to get across is this phrase called cause in the matter. I am trying to get people to a place where they make a decision that I am the only cause in the matter of my own life. I am the only cause in the matter of my family. I am the cause in the matter of things getting better. I am cause in the matter of things getting worse. I am absolutely 100% the only cause in the matter. I am cause in the matter of my relationship with my mother. I am cause in the matter of my relationship with my girlfriend. I am cause in the matter at work. I am the fucking cause. I am. And it's not a bad thing. It seems like our society is like, you're to blame, or you're the cause. And that seems like, when you say you're the cause in this society, it really seems like you're pointing fingers, and people are like, I'm not the cause. And it's really adopted this thing where people come here and they seem to be this innocent bystander in their own life. And the family members come, and they're also this kind of narrator, telling a story about their addict kid, or telling a story about their family. But you never hear their cause. You never hear what they did to cause the matter. You never hear people explaining, this is why I'm causing the matter of this. This is what I've done. And so we come here, and it's like this thing where we're like faking it, where we have to be real nice with each other, and we have to go, listen, maybe, possibly, and I have to start with the family, and I have to go, maybe, possibly, I don't mean to offend you at all, and maybe that, you know, some of the things you're doing are causing it, and I have to walk on eggshells around that and kind of make sure the family doesn't get offended, because people are offended when they're the cause these days. It's like, I'm not the cause. Why do you not want to be the cause? That is the question I ask you. Why the hell do you not want to be the cause? Why do you want to defend not being the cause? You want to be the innocent bystander. There was a quote I heard today, was a book I'm reading, and the quote said, there are no statues of critics. And, you know, I love all those little things, but that one particularly hit me. There's no statues of critics. And it's like we've taken a position of being the critics of our own lives, the critics of everyone in our lives, not the cause in the matter. I'm the critic. I sit back and critique my family and how they behave. I critique everyone and make sure. Oh, I don't commit to my job. I critique how they're doing it. And if maybe that they want me to, if they want me to commit, they better make some fucking decisions. I'm just here to critique how they've been running the business. It's not very good lately. And it's this idea that, God, can we just get you to understand what it's like to be causing the matter of your own life? So if you take on all the blame first, which is fine, and you can go look at every single thing can be originated back to me. Every single thing, if I look at it. Every single fight I've had, every single disagreement, everything can be traced back to me. And that's beautiful. You know, in some of the worlds that I've went into, and I used to be a part of this thing called GIN. It was called the Global Information Network, ran by a guy named Kevin Trudeau, and that was how I first started out in trainings and recovery. I was like 1 year sober. I had $3,000 left, and somebody convinced me to give it to join this club, you know. It was all the money I had in the world, and brought it up there, boom, this is all I got. Well, they promised me that it was going to change my life. Man, I was like, here it is. And then it was $150 a month in perpetuity. It just never stopped coming out of my account. And for that, I got this. I went home from these people's house. It was like a multi-level marketing thing, you know. And I went home from their house, and I packed a bunch of self-help books, you know. Norman Vincent Peale and Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, and Psycho-Cybernetics, and, you know, The Power of Positive Thinking, and 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I toted them around and read each one of them, and you know, and I went down to GIN, and I get there, and, oh man, it's in Dallas. There's this huge conference in Dallas at this hotel. It's this badass hotel, you know, and everyone. And then we do the first night, and there's all these speakers, all these guys that were on the Apprentice, and senators, and everyone was speaking and getting you hyped up. You know, you just, how much money do you make? How much money do you make? And everyone's going, you got your name tag on, and then the next night they do what's called a white party. You know, if you ever been to one of these white parties. I was like, I'm not good in all white, dude. This is not going to work for me. I'm not going to make it through dinner. But there I go, wearing this all dipshit white suit. And I'm a believer, you know, GIN, Global Information Network, you know. And here I go. And you know, but one of the things that I do take away from there is that and like anything, at that point, my thinking was the problem. So if somebody had new thinking, whether that was at an AA meeting or it was at Global Information Network or wherever it was, I'm buying in. I'm listening. I committed. I didn't care. I was committed to that shit. I was just the same. I'm up mingling. Like, what do you do for work, man? Let me get you. You know, I'm like trying. You know, because I'm a young kid and I'm gonna make it. You know, I'm 38 years old. Maybe that's not young, but you know. So here you go. You know, but you know, that night somebody got on the stage, and it was a man named Ed Foreman, 2-time senator. The only at the time, I don't know if it's still true, but Ed Foreman was a senator of Texas and a senator of New Mexico, and he was a 2-time senator, and you know, just a great speaker, Ed Foreman. And he gets out on the stage and he says, you know, it's called the 3-second miracle. And you know, you don't know what he's going to say, but he said, when you come to the conclusion that everything in your life is your fault, when you come to that conclusion, it's a goddamn miracle. It's like, wow, because if I'm the problem, I can be the solution. If I'm the cause in the matter, I can be the cause in the matter. And it's this beautiful thing that happens and that's the work here. That's just, it's like trying to hand it over and go, I know you don't want to take it, but take it. No, I don't want to take it. No, take it. No, man, fuck, it's my mom, my dad. No, my boss. No, I don't want to take it. No, take it. No, I'm a bystander. I ain't doing it. They're doing it. No, here, take it. No. And that seems to be sometimes what we're dealing with here. Because if we weren't dealing with that, it's real simple. It's put my head down, get results, ask questions, make it better. That's it. And we've given you a real clear formula of what that is. And that's for me what I want for people to understand is the power and the feeling. We've been talking about power and the power that comes to you when you decide that you're causing the matter of your own life and that you will never let anyone else be causing the matter. You won't allow it. You will not allow somebody else to, and I don't complain about people because I don't want them to be causing the matter of my misery. I don't, blame other people because I don't want them to be causing the matter. I don't care if a guy hits me in my car. I'm causing the matter. I drove the car. I was there. If I wasn't there, would have it happened? No. So now I have to take precautions to drive better. Now I have to take responsibility for what I'm doing to do it better. I'm not a bystander that's going to go, I can't believe this happened to me and I'm so offended and righteous. Ain't going to happen. It's like, oh man, I got hit. I got to pay attention more. I got hit. I got to pay attention more. I'm causing the matter. So that's some of what, what's going on here. And the power of what we do with families, you don't know how a lot of your families, if you're sitting here today, your mother or father came to us and they didn't know how to be causing the matter, and we gave them the blueprint and told them this is how you be causing the matter. And look at the power and look at how it impacted you when your parents decided to come be causing the matter of your life and figure out they could make a difference. And that's what's going on. So beyond that, there's teachings of, relationships and rackets and power and on and on and on. And it's about life. And I love this gymnasium. And all you have to do is get in the gym. It doesn't matter which tool you're using. It doesn't matter what you're picking up. It doesn't matter as long as you're in the gym, as long as you're not standing on the side critiquing everyone else, waiting for somebody else to get you to commit. You know what the actual formula is for growth? And I've learned this deeply, that when I grow in life, it's because of two things. A commitment combined with criticism. That's where my growth place lies. If I have made a commitment to do something and get something done, when we committed to making this program and we committed it to making it original, it forced me to grow because guess what I faced? Constant criticism. And that's the growth formula. If you're not in a position where you have a boss or you have somebody that you've committed to, and then that thing is criticizing you, and it's not just the boss that could be criticizing you, might be getting criticized from the cheap seats. A lot of times when you're doing things, criticism's just coming from the people that you don't, it's just out there. And that's great too, because you can take that. But again, that's the formula. So how are you going to grow if you're not committed to doing something and you're not being criticized for doing it? So you're not going to grow. If you're committed to doing something but nobody's criticizing you, you just float along. Pretty easy. But when there's problems and there's difficulties and people are criticizing you, and oh man, that's it. That's this perfect little, gas oven that you can live in for a while. And that's what people have done here. The families have committed to making a difference. And then guess what? They're facing criticism. Every mother on here that's trying to get their kid treatment or trying to handle the commitment of sticking with their son, they're facing criticism from somebody in the family. You shouldn't be doing it like that. You shouldn't do that. That's not how you should do it. You never should be doing that. That's a mistake. Why don't you do this? So that indicates to me that if a family is committed to making a difference and being causing the matter, everyone's going to criticize, but they're going to grow. And that's what this is all about, is the growth of everyone here. And I get this luxurious, beautiful honor to sit and watch people, watch the evolution of people, and watch them go from a person ill-equipped for life, not handling it, powerless, to a person that's running and managing and being causing the matter of their own life. And that's the beauty of this thing. It'll make you cry. And, you know, it's an honor with every family. It's an honor with, you know, Angie's doing reach outs. We've found, and Sherry can talk about this, but we've found stacks and stacks of our old files. And they're on like the 400th file, entering it into the computer, 500th family that we helped or whatever they're at. And they've logged them, took 3 days and logged them into this computer and organized into categories of people, how they're doing. Families, are you thriving? Do we know, or is it unknown?
Work her way down. Well, she.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and we're not done yet. We're not near done. This is just 2 years worth.
But that prompted Angie to reach out.
Wait.
Oh,
No.
she keeps getting unmuted. Oops. She doesn't realize. Go ahead.
So that has prompted Angie to go out and send check-in messages to hundreds of families. And she's getting these replies from hundreds of families, and they're telling us how much their life has been impacted and how it's changed. And, you know, this is it. Causing the matter is all there is. You know, and you try to figure out something else. Where else are you going to start? Where else do you start? How do you find an engine for life or a starting point if causing the matter isn't it? You know, you're really a freaking tumbleweed if it's not causing the matter. Causing the matter is the grounding of how you manage a life. If you don't manage from causing the matter, you can be blown anywhere. You can be, you know, manipulated. You can be just flimsy. And so causing the matter is it. It's what grounds people to making a difference in their own life and all of it. And so it has to start there. And it's really shocking. And I want you all to look at the stories you tell about your life. How many of the stories that you tell about your life currently, and be honest, how many of the stories that you tell about your life currently have you as causing the matter? You know, and how many have somebody else as causing the matter of your happiness today, your success at work, your sobriety? How many of these have you know, when you're telling a story about your life? And I want to make sure that when you're telling the story about your life, you learn to tell it from you being the lead causing the matter. Because if you're not, you're just a tumbleweed in your own life. You're just nothing. Air will blow you away. That's why I said, here, if somebody on here is offended by Kyle's jokes, okay. Well, don't tune in, you know? I mean, I love all the people that used to listen to Howard Stern. They would turn on the radio, put it on his channel, and then complain about what he said. And that was constant. Oh, God, he's so outrageous. Why are you listening? Anyways, we can do some coaching tonight. I'd like to see coaching in action if somebody needed some. I'd like to see anything. But that's where it always goes back to. It's very difficult because it's not easy. Because from my perspective, it's very difficult because it's hard. And everyone talks and everyone comes up and then I go, well, you're causing the matter, and they remind them and they don't like that. And, you know, and it's not easy because like group therapy, you know, group therapy, what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to complain about the people in our life, and then everyone in the group is supposed to go, that sucks for you. And then you feel good and you give each other a hug. That's therapy. And it's a different case when people go, yeah, you did that. Yeah, we're not hearing it. Shut up.
It's really easy to like to say, I did that, like when something
Oh yeah,
happens.
yeah.
But then if it's something like shitty, like I backed into your car or something,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, you fucking shouldn't have parked there. You know what I mean?
My favorite is to be at the poker room, and the guy had recently won a big tournament, and I see him for the first time, and he yells across the poker room, Art! He just yells, Art! Did you hear I won Sunday? First place. $6,000. Hey, great. Then the next week, Art, can we go outside? Why do you want to go outside? I yell. He goes, just come outside. I don't want to talk about it in here. We go outside. He goes, hey, I've had a really unlucky week. Really unlucky week. Do you think I could borrow some money? And that's where I come in. I say, you want to borrow money? You've had a bad week. Huh. But they're not causing the matter of that. They're causing the matter of their winning. And, you know, like I say all the time in this room, guys, you know how to be causing the matter of ruining something. You do. Right now I can say ruin this meeting and anyone here can figure it out. I can say go up to Safeway and ruin everyone's night. You can do it. I can say go home to the military house and ruin everyone's life. So that's weird that you feel powerful enough that you could ruin things. But you might not feel powerful enough that you can make a difference. And that's scary. And it's scary that people don't understand this. If you can ruin things, you can also make things better. You just got to think differently. You got to understand that you're causing the matter. And we know when we're causing the matter of ruining something. But we don't always know how to be causing the matter of fixing something. And all that takes is questions. If you don't know how to fix something, ask. Then you can use a different piece of the equipment that we have here, and we'll show you how to get on that one and get that muscle going. But if you sit here and don't feel that you're causing the matter of your own life, good luck. You're on your own. No one's coming. So right now, simple. I'm going to clear these thoughts, these blaming thoughts, these complaining thoughts, these negative, this shit. And the way I'm going to do it is not through positive thoughts, not through, I'm going to breathe. I'm going to kind of stop thinking for a while and give it a rest. You know? If you rode around in a car and it had a GPS system, and that GPS system inevitably, every time you drove, had you ending up in a ditch on a dead end, when would you turn the GPS off and go with something else? And that's what step 2 says. It says we came to believe a power greater than ourselves to restore us to sanity. It says my GPS is broke. When I use it and I follow it, I end up here. Your GPS was so good that it got you here. And now what we need to do is clear it, reset the GPS, and get a new one. And we need to do it through new information. That's how a GPS would improve. It would get more information, better information, updated information. We still might be running on that old childhood information. How I get what I want from my mommy by giving her the silent treatment. How I get what I want in the world by telling my parents that they shouldn't have got divorced. And how dare they screw me over with their divorce. It's not great news. I never give good news. You know? I just give the news. It's facts. If you want your life better, cause them. Okay. Hopefully you can call out some people, Ange, and we can get some.
So let's open it up. So this, it's available for anybody needing some coaching. If anybody's really going through it, if anybody, this is a great opportunity.
We don't even divorce you keep going, Ange. So, but
okay. And questions out there? Any questions? Fair game. All questions.
We don't even
New
teach
people
right for kids.
What's that? We
should be teaching kids at a young age. Have you ever heard a kid go, "Thank God my folks got divorced"? Their stupid yelling and their idiotic behavior was driving me mad. Now what I do is I run over to my dad's and I get him to give me money, and then I make him take me to vacation, and then my mom, she lets me do whatever the hell I want, so I throw parties at her house. And my parents' divorce is the greatest thing that ever happened to my childhood. I never hear that one.
That was me.
Yeah.
2 Christmases?
Yeah, 2 Christmases. And now we've labeled divorce as trauma. Oh my God. My parents got divorced. Yeah, I wish mine would have. Shit. You know?
My
Sounds like
divorce was the greatest thing that ever happened to me, so I don't know what you're talking about.
What did you say, Lynn?
I said my divorce was the greatest thing that ever happened to me, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Like they say, marriage is temporary. Divorce
Yeah,
is
fully. Anyway,
marriage, that's just temporary. Divorce, it's
forever.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Until you marry that same guy again, make the same mistake. Same mistake twice. You did.
Stop.
It's pretty good. Some people do it. It's the best thing that ever happened. Some people, they get divorced for a while, get remarried, they kill it after that. You know?
All right, come on. Come on, ladies. I gave the mom a little heads up. Come on, ladies. All right, Becky, let's go. Get you unmuted.
Now, let me use my prognostic things here. My powers of prognostic. I'm going to put Becky on the spot because I feel a little feisty. So I'm going to. Yeah.
I've been offended plenty of times, so feel free to.
All right. Prediction is here. My prediction. My prediction about Becky's question is Becky. This is how well I know Becky. Let me see. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You got to be truthful.
All right.
Becky is going to ask a question that is going to be helpful for other families. She's going to be asking a question that she thinks I need to address to help other families. Ready? Go.
Actually, I wasn't going to ask a question.
Okay.
I was just going to say, for other families. It is for other people, 100%, you're right. I've been around long enough to be offended a bunch of times. And I'm, like I've said before, you know, there were lots of times Bill and I on the way home would talk about how we thought you were wrong. So I have to say that, you know, what I learned is I really had to not focus on the messenger and to focus on the message and what you were saying, not how you were saying it, not what I thought your tone was or the look on your face or any of those things. Because you said something to me on the first night about, you know, like I was there, like I needed to learn something. And so really, when I focused on the message, that's when I learned something.
Yeah.
So, focus on the message.
Yeah. I knew you were going to help him. Thank you, Becky. She's team battle. What else?
She's good at. She's good at that.
Good job.
Yep.
But one time, and here's another question tonight for everyone. What are you struggling with? So if anyone has anything that they're struggling with, please, I would love to help someone tonight if we can. So, you know, but thanks, Beck. I'm just messing with you. Me and Becky spent hours and hours and hours. Me, Bill, Becky, Angie, we spent hours and hours. I mean, we're talking 30 hours, 40 hours in a room together talking about their family and life and learning from each other. And so it's been an honor with the Wiggins family.
Well, and not just that, Art, but, you know, Solution Group and the group coaching too. I mean, I can't tell you, you know, it's ongoing. I mean, I'm learning something every time. So I keep my mind open.
But yeah, she used to be very offended by me. Becky, it wasn't, yeah. She would look at Bill like, is this guy nuts? Yeah.
Well, it's not hard.
Oh, sorry. I thought you accidentally unmuted. I'm sorry. Did Cherry? Oh, you got something?
Yeah, I've got one.
And I thought it was accidental because there was noise in the background earlier with you, and I thought it was an accident. Hey, Sherry.
Hey, I've got one. So do you try and balance when you're kind of like getting through your your formula for growth? Do you kind of balance the positive and the criticism? I'm asking just from a pure, like working through employee stuff, and working through like, my own kind of like work-life balance stuff, right? So do you balance those things, or if you have 100% criticism, you just go with it and drop all the bombs and say it's like, sorry, hard conversation, but you needed to hear it?
I would say that, and it's a beautiful thing, because I would say what it does is it puts you on a roller coaster. And I think if you've ever been on this roller coaster and if it's 100% criticism, well, you probably really need to stop. I mean, you probably really got it. You're not growing. So it's in this ride of what we do, it's filled with both criticism of what we do and people that we offend and people that leave and people that don't come back and they say that place art's crazy. And then there's the people that give us good credit, and there's the wonderful text coming back to Angie. And so in this formula, whenever you're doing this formula, you're going to face highs and lows. One day your boss is going to tell you you are the best thing ever. And then the very next day you might come in and he tells you you're the worst thing ever. And it's up and down, and Kyle faces it, and everyone's facing it. And it's this beautiful thing, because it'll bring you to the high highs and the low lows. And what you need to learn to do is get smooth and just understand what equanimity is, understand what it means to be okay with the criticism and not get too hot, not get too low, and be okay with the positive and not be too high on yourself. If everyone's giving you a lot of credit and you're doing great, that'll change. And if everybody's criticizing you, that'll change. And that's the growth. The growth is when the down times hit, what do? But there's got to be upsides to get you motivated again. If there's no upside, I would say maybe you're in the wrong field, or you don't love what you do or something. But yeah, that.
Yeah, I had a real positive meeting with my boss, and it was one of those things where it was like taking the positive, but then there's a place where you were like, okay, how could I have done better on this one thing I was working on? And he was like super excited. He was like, I'm really glad you asked that. Here, let me take a look at this. And we kind of talked about a few like little teeny adjustments, and it was really helpful. And I was doing it with the genuine approach because I wanted to get better at it. But it actually really kind of like helped him kind of go, it's like, okay, yeah, she really cares about doing the right thing. So
I remember Noah Levine, who started Refuge Recovery and who teaches Buddhism, and he mentioned in one of his talks about difficulties that the area of our brain that accepts praise is sticky. It means is slippery, meaning the praise just goes off, and the area and it just bounces off of us and slides off of us. And the area of our brain that takes criticism remembers, and it sticks. And every time we can probably remember every bit of criticism that we've took in our whole life, but not remember any of the praise, not remember that. So I remember that he taught me that, and I remember thinking, God damn, that's so true, man. If people can tell me good job or I'm great 100 times in a day, and it'll bounce right off. But when they tell me I suck, I'll remember that for 4 or 5. Just once. I can't stop thinking about that. So yeah.
Thank you, Sherry. Candace, hey.
Hey, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, I do get criticism from family when, Connor, when I decide what I'm going to do or what I think is best, or if I'm following your guidance, people are like, oh, I don't know why you're doing that. But I also have criticism of myself. Like, if he's not doing well, then I criticize myself, like always second guessing myself. Maybe I should have done something different. How could I have navigated this differently? So what do you say to the criticism of yourself?
This is a great talk on addiction, because you're talking about the core of codependency. You're talking about where codependency was founded off of. this idea that if Connor's not doing good, that affects how you feel and how you do. And that your self-esteem is based upon Connor's success or Connor's failure. That's the crux of codependency. That's it. That's the cause. That's the thing. And so, you know, we got many people on here that are suffering from that. And it's the same thing. What you're suffering from is your thinking. Exactly what I said in the beginning. So that's why it's pretty simple for a codependent, when they realize they're a codependent, to run the same recovery program that the addict is running. And the addict has an obsession to use drugs, and you have an obsession to fix the drug addict. So your obsession then, we came to believe a power greater, your navigation system does not work. You always end up in a ditch. So you have to now do exactly what Andy, you do what everyone else, what addicts are doing. And that's why a codependent program works off the same 12 steps. It's not you know, it's pretty little differences, but you know, that's it. That's why, you know, parents have to work a program too, because that's crazy. It's crazy it's insane thinking to think that you're the cause of Connor getting good, better, or worse. Mm-hmm. You're the cause in the matter of getting him to treatment. You're the cause in the matter of intervening on his drug use. But beyond that, you have to let Connor launch. You know, that's it. So it's just, it's beautiful, and every mother, or, you know, and it's always the oddest thing for me when I hear people state clearly that they're a codependent, and then keep doing it. It's like, okay, you know that you are. Well, then, okay, well, let's work on it. It's like, I have a friend in high school, and when I met him really, really on, he told me I had an anger problem. He said, I got an anger problem. Well, guess what he had? An anger problem. And he displayed it every goddamn weekend. He got in a fight, started throwing things. He was always the source of every party. We had to watch him get angry at somebody. And he identified as this person that had an anger problem. And so he had to manifest his anger and show everybody he's got an anger problem. Same thing with codependency. People identify as a codependent, and they start doing that, and then they be a codependent. And they go, I'm a codependent. And then they be a codependent. So it's just as odd. But the same thing applies. Take a breath. Present moment, present time awareness. Escape your mind. Learn how to be out of your mind. Learn how to come to a different clearing. Learn a different place. Grow a different place in your mind through presence. And then use other people's information. Not their criticism, but, you know, surrender. That's what every good addict has to do. Surrender and let somebody else take over for a while until my GPS comes back online. And just a period of time where you just surrender.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. But
Good to see you, Candace.
That criticizing ourselves, that's a real tricky thing. You know, tough to buy.
All right, who else out there? I know there's more questions.
In some cases,
And if you don't know how to use the raise your hand feature on your device, you can just type in the chat, just like Candace just did, to get my attention. You can wave your hands and I'll see you.
Parent got one. Let's go to another parent.
All right, come on.
If we don't, Logan has a question. But let's get a parent ready to go after Logan.
Okay.
Make them do it.
I'm going to start calling on people.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, like, in some cases,
Melinda, the Dershes, the Adaires have got to have a question. They've been here so many weeks. It's been great to see them sitting here together. I love it. Oh, Bill. Okay.
Okay. Logan, then. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Logan and then Bill.
Angie, you're killing me.
No, I love this topic because am I on mute?
Sorry, I can't. There's a little delay here, guys.
Okay, we're going.
We're going who?
Bill.
Is there a delay on what I'm saying?
No, now we're good.
Oh, okay. and Becky's incorrect. I never disagreed with what you said, Art, on the way home in the car.
I know she's been, a lot of times she'd been drinking a little bit.
Oh,
So.
yeah. Yeah, Chris Laurie, and Becky usually had that extra glass of wine at the
Yes.
at that whatever that place was. Anyway, this is one of my favorite. The being cause and the matter. How do you balance that with the talk you used to give about being the cop and the robber at the same time? Because if you're cause and the matter, how do you catch yourself being your own judge?
Yeah.
How do you balance that? I mean, when things are going right, it's easy, but when things are going sideways, being cause and the matter, how do you evaluate your actions as a parent or as somebody in treatment?
Yeah.
That's a tough line for me.
Well,
because you don't want to be critical of yourself, but at the same time, things aren't going right. So if you're causing the matter, how do you stop the poor direction you might be going?
Well, like I said, this critical of yourself things a real.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, there's a fine line between self-deprecating and critical of yourself.
Yeah.
Self-deprecating, people that are self-deprecating, blaming themselves, doing that's suffering from some type of condition.
Excuse.
That's a low, that's a condition. That's like, oh, let me criticize myself worse than anyone else so nobody else criticizes me kind of thing. And that's the thing where people are doing like the Eminem thing. If I tell everybody what's wrong with me, nobody can tell me what's wrong with me. So that's what you see a lot. You see people go, I'm just worthless, or I'm just no good, or I'm just whatever. And that's not what we're talking about. And I think being critical about yourself is vastly important when you're causing the matter. I think you should be critical of yourself. I think you should put yourself on trial when things aren't going well. And when things are tough and you're not getting what you need done, then you have to go back to this position where you observe you. And I think what people do when it's tough and when things aren't going well is they don't be critical of themselves, they be critical of others. And they get to a place of blame fairly quickly. And they say, well, that didn't work because that wasn't my fault. Well, why don't you look closer at why it didn't work? Why don't you look closer rather than blaming somebody else? Why don't you look what you could have done differently in every case? And I think that critical just means that. It doesn't mean I'm shitty. It doesn't mean anything. It means I'm going to look at what I could have done differently. That's simple.
Yeah.
So rather than just deprecate yourself.
Yeah. So is cause and the matter the same as to you? Is it the same as cause of the change? Like, are we capable of being cause of the change, or do we have to seek outside ourselves to be changed?
You mean cause of changing ourselves?
What's that?
Cause in the matter of changing ourselves?
Right.
Yeah. No, I think that the information does that.
All
that
right.
The scene does that. And I think it would be very, on a desert island with no books, and you're alone on a deserted island, improvement would be tough. What would you measure against? Where would you get the information? How would you know you grow? And you would just be there, and you'd be the same for 50 years. And you might grow a little because you learn how to get the coconut open easier or whatever that is, but that's not really growth. You'd be put back on an island, you get taken off the island, then interact with human beings. It's the human being relationship. It's the failure that's the growth. So it's very tough. People always say, I've been working on myself.
Right.
And I always think that is so ridiculous. What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? You've been working, how? And maybe you mean you've been working on your body and you've been going to yoga and you've been, that fine. But really working on yourself means I see my reflection of who I am in the mirror of other people. And because I'm interested in the way that mirror comes back to me, and I'm interested in my power, and I'm interested in that, I'm working on my growth, but my growth is now dependent upon other people. It's dependent on that. That's
Right.
the only thing I have. If my relationships aren't improving, then how do you prove that you've grown? And people might mean bigger, faster, harder. Well, I used to run 2 miles, now I run 4. I used to weigh 40 pounds, but now I used to be 40 pounds heavier, but now I've lost 40 pounds. That's not what we're talking about here. That might be growth in a different thing. But what we're talking about here is I measure my growth based upon how people are seeing me, how my respect and my power, how sharp my knife is, my ability to hold people accountable, and then the one measurement that I think that matters in life. One question. In your relationships as a human being, do people get better around you or worse? That's it. Do people...
I've been trying to check Becky for 6 years now. It's
yeah. Mr. Monks.
Before you go to Logan, because it has to do with this.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between self-deprecating and being critical of yourself, and the difference is truly the results of what you want. Self-deprecating, the result is most of the time an invitation in order to be a victim, an invitation in order for people to feel sorry for you, seeking some kind of outward validation, compared to the result that if you truly want the result of being better, the way it looks like when you're looking at yourself and being critical, it's not a mode of depression, it's not a mode of anger or suffering.
That's right.
It's a mode of seriously taking a look and being curious about yourself and how you need to improve.
Yeah, and an accepting curiosity and accepting just a beautiful look of I'm not saying I'm bad or a good person. I'm saying in this particular instance, my actions.
I could be better.
My actions could improve. And it's that simple. No bad, no good. No, because of these actions, I'm a bad person. No direct meaning back to it. Nothing.
No judgment.
No judgment of it. Just simply, my actions in this case weren't the greatest. Let me look at how I can do different action. Let me look at how I can put it a different way. Let me look at how I can present it differently. That's it.
I think that self-deprecating racket is like something to watch out for all the parents, especially because I used to do it all the time. I used to go all the way with, I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd go all the way down, like, that way nobody could look down or and I was looking at myself.
Yeah. When I get caught doing something real nasty,
yeah.
oh man.
Nasty.
Oh yeah. I mean, and people were going to yell at me.
Yeah.
I cut them off at the pass. You think you're going to yell at me? I hate myself way more than you could ever hate me.
Myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, like with the
Yeah.
relationship, it's like, man, I suck at staying sober. It's so hard.
Yes.
We're all sober now, it's all definitely possible.
Where's that foil? God, I suck at being sober. Where's it? Yeah. God, it's so hard, Mom.
I'm an addict.
Yeah. What do you expect? I'm an addict. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, I like when they go, this is a famous kid's line to their parents. Relapse is part of recovery. I love that one. It's just part of it, Mom. Just relapse. And parents are like, relapse is part of recovery. This is good. This is good. See, they're in recovery. They relapsed. See? Yeah, it's like, it's the part that ends it. Yeah. It's the direct ending of recovery is relapse. It's the point when it ends. Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the parents used to know that's a racket.
Yeah. Mom, we drive you to the store. Stop at my guy's house. Relapse is part of it, Mom. She's like, well, let's get it done then. Oh, man, there's so many good parent-kid games and addiction. I got to pick up my baseball mitt, Mom. Yeah. I left my baseball mitt at my dealer. We got to go get it.
Storage.
You're on the phone. Put the drugs inside the baseball mitt. Mom, we got to go get some Suboxone. I'm going to get clean. No.
That was my favorite one.
Yeah.
My buddy has a sub for me. We gotta go grab it.
It's $80 for one.
Yes. Subs. The demand on subs is so high. Yeah. Beautiful. Logan, what was yours?
Oh, Bill kind of already touched on it. I was just gonna say, like, isn't self-criticism, like, it can potentially be like being cause in the matter.
Yeah.
Just asking that. And
Great.
But there is that point that it gets worse than that. There is that point when someone isn't really doing it for other people's benefit. There is that point where you get so low, and there can be that point where you get so low and you get so frustrated with yourself and you get so lost that you do sit there and go, I suck. And there is people that get there, and I would say that happens. That's some people, it's very truthful. That's what's going on in their experience. They think that they are less than, they think they suck, all that kind of stuff. So you got to be careful. You can't just call people out and say, oh, you're just doing that because, I know Candace is not doing it for anyone's benefit. In her case, she's sitting there harsh on herself, and she's sitting there struggling, and she's not loving that, so hopefully we help her get out of that and see, and give her some. That's where you need the things to be supportive, and you need that kind of thing sometimes. So we're not all hard here. Sometimes we're gonna.
We've got moms group every Wednesday. We're not hard on any moms. We got group coaching.
And Candace, that's when you see the problem with when you feel that way, Candace. And I imagine the problem with when you feel that way is that's when you isolate, and that's when you turn away from people. And that's the exact bad response, because when you're feeling that way, that's when you got to go talk shit out of your head and get those thoughts out. And that's when you got to go share. And that's the importance of groups and meetings and things like that. That's the important where you need some other mothers to kind of pump you back up and go, don't worry, you're okay, we all did it, and that's very helpful. So, but people, when they feel that way, they go and be alone, and that's not that. They sit. No, that's not that great.
yeah, trust me, you don't suck. Connor sucks.
yeah. Connor sucks. It's not you. It's not you. He really, really sucks. Yeah. Yeah, he's the worst. Yeah. All right, Eileen.
All right.
Yeah, I was just thinking, as we're talking about criticizing yourself, I think I have a bad habit. I at work, in the work environment, especially in our managers meetings, I'm usually the first one to criticize myself or point out my flaws. But I think the reason, I know the reason I do it is because I want some people to also point out their flaws, because I get really irritated. I feel like, oh gosh, these people, they're always, and here what I'm doing now is probably just as bad, but you hear somebody criticizing other people enough, they did this wrong or did that wrong. So then what I do is I tend to throw in, well, I've done that before. And in order to get other people to admit that they do it. And that's not a healthy thing either, but so one thing I really like that you said tonight that I think I'm going to start tomorrow morning is I like the idea of just completely clearing out that GPS and starting new. I'm not even going to take a few minutes to reflect, okay, this is what I did right yesterday. Just start over and see where that goes. Kind of look at things with a new eye, because I can definitely clear that GPS out at times.
Well, and Eileen, I want to say possibly, the formula that we're talking about for growth, and what I would say is that when I put a manager in place here, or I tell these kids to be causing the matter with each other, and if I tell someone that what I want you to look at is I want you to hold your friends accountable, or I want you to hold your housemates accountable. It doesn't, and for you, let's say I want you to learn, for you if I was coaching and I said, Eileen, what I want you to do is I want you to be able to hold, what you really want here is you want to hold your teammates accountable. That's what you want. You want accountability. You want mistakes corrected. You want movement forward. You want everyone humming and working together and not blame and none of that. And so the formula that I suggest is that if you just start criticizing others, I mean, really, if you want to be in a position where you can make that happen, for me, I learned it really quickly. If I was going to be a person that was coaching other people, every mistake I make is going to be exploited. And I like that. I like it. Okay. And because if you exploit those holes, eventually I'll cover them up. Eventually I'll heal that. Eventually that'll make me grow. And that's the exact thing where you need to not prevent criticism by heading it off on the pass. You make mistakes, fine. But where you at? The power comes when you go, yeah, I made that mistake, but let's look at what's going on here. And that's when, for a lot of them, I appoint a new manager. That's the first difficulty that they realize. I got to go tell someone to make their bed now. I got to go tell someone to clean up their room. Oh shit, my room's not clean. Oh shit, I didn't make my bed here. I got to tell people to do chores. Oh shit, they watched me not do chores when I was here. I got to go, and it's on and on and on. And so the formula for growth is simple there. I have to clean up my house. I have to clean up my shit and make sure I don't have, you got to make sure you don't have any mistakes, first of all. Well, that's it. You know what I mean? And if you can get to a point where you don't have mistakes, well, then you can get to a point where you can hold people accountable for their mistakes. And you know, it might not be easy, but that's the formula. That's how you make a difference. If you continue to make mistakes and then try to make a difference, your boat's going to sink from the holes. And you know, exactly like what, and then the thing that Richard Sherman did, for instance. Richard Sherman was arguably the best cornerback in all of football. He was great. And then he made one mistake. He told everybody he's the best. And that one mistake ended his career. It made people target him. It made people want to beat him. It made people go after him. And he never was good again. When it happened in one game, if you remember the game. It was Seahawks against the Niners, and he stopped Crabtree on an out pattern and knocked the ball down and saved the game for the Hawks. And then he told everybody, "Don't bring a weak receiver like Crabtree around me," and he made a big scene. And I don't remember another game after that. I mean, you know, as opposed to Jerry Rice, never said a word, and there's nobody that would argue he's not the best receiver. That, you know, one at least top 2 or 3. So again, going back to last week, my ability to sharpen my knife, my ability to do that. But then when my knife gets sharp and I have that power, do I really want to use it? Or am I glad that I just have it? And then I can pull it out when need be, but not too much. You know? But that's the thing. That's the focus, is like, okay, but what you told me was you made mistakes. And that's,
I tell people that I have made those same mistakes of people that they're criticizing just because don't do that.
I'm making them now. Don't talk about that shit.
Makes me look weak, I suppose.
Yeah. You know, and it's that old thing where you're not really. That's the thing where, like, look at that's let me show you how to do it better. That's it.
I don't know.
Times people here when they're trying to get through to somebody and they're trying to make an impact, you know what they say first? They always preface it. They say, "Hey dude, listen, this is coming from a place of concern and care, and I want you to know I really care about you." And the person's sitting there thinking, "No, you don't." And so that's the start of, like, okay, you know, wow, what about when you power up? And, you know, it's like telling a kid that you've made a mistake. Oh, telling your kid, "Hey, son, don't worry, I've made a lot of mistakes." All a kid hears is that you make mistakes.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and you've lost your power with your kid now because, you know, if you used to smoke weed, then you tell your kid, "Yeah, I smoked a lot of weed when I was growing up." Well, they're probably going to smoke weed. You did it. So it's, you know, a lot of things take.
Good. I didn't think of it that way, but that probably stuff makes me look weak.
Yeah. And you're prefing it to be nice. You're trying to be kind. You're trying to, you know, be compassionate. And why?
That's a good point. Yeah, why? I have to look at that motive.
Yeah, it's business. This is the company. You're in the way of our money. I don't know what you're doing, but don't do that.
Okay.
You know?
Thank you.
Thanks, Eileen. All right, this is good. We're down to 6 minutes. That was good. Lots of good stuff.
Oh, we need one
Anybody
more.
else out there?
We need one more.
Yes, we do.
We won't let everyone off the hook.
There's something burning out there. I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
That heart's thumping because they want to say something. Come on, just do it.
We've
What'd
locked
you
your
say?
compu- We've locked all their computers. They can't get off Zoom until the question's asked. Yeah.
You know when
Try to
your heart's thumping so fast, and then you don't do it, and then you wish you did.
I got an expert hacker here, Nico. Nico's hacked into your whole homes. We're watching you right now. Yeah, especially you, mothers of Battlefield.
So 2 indestructible trains are leaving at this.
An indestructible force meets an immovable. Well, no, yeah, it meets an immovable object.
Yeah.
Let me just do a quick little plug. I already mentioned the Run for Recovery coming up in May. I'm going to be reaching out here in the next couple weeks. Of course, we need volunteers again the day of the event. And if you had a position last year and you want to do the same position again, can you reach out to me, shoot me a text, let me know. If you have you just loved what you did last year and you want that spot, let me know. And then maybe you didn't participate last year, but you'd like to be on the volunteer team. And basically what that means, it's set up before, it's registration, it's whatever's needed that day. It's handing out water. It's, it's just a lot of moving parts going on during the event. And it's just a lot of fun to participate and be part of that. And if you'd like to be a volunteer, be sure and reach out to me. In the next couple of weeks, I'll be fine tuning that and nailing it and making sure all the positions are set and we're good to go. So, and then if you work for an organization, we had so many sponsors last year. It was so great. We had so many organizations to sponsor the event. When we get a lot of sponsors for an event like that, that makes an event like this, profitable for our scholarship fund account. I mean, it's like the registration takes care of all the logistic things, the t-shirts, the rentals and all that kind of stuff. We don't make, above and beyond, but what pushes it above and beyond and makes the event a success as far as raising funds is sponsors. And so if you work for an organization, please consider reaching out to your human resources, your boss, and talk to them about us. And, a lot of organizations have a certain amount every year that they give, to a cause. And being as we're early in the year, the earlier we ask organizations, the better, because towards the end of the year for our auction, a lot of times people have already spent, their Goodwill accounts. So please, if you need, we have a sponsorship level form. We have letters via email, on paper, whatever you need. We can supply that so you can forward that on to whoever, and it will tell them about the event, why we're raising funds, and who we are. So if you've got connections, please reach out and we can get you what you need. So thank you for that. More information to come in the coming weeks.
All
right, back to you, Art.
When we started this thing, we used to have these 6 values of Battlefield. And I don't know if I remember all of them completely because this is years ago. One of them was everything we do is cool. And another one was we do not listen to what they say. And, that's this thing about being caused in your matter, in the matter of your life is, you come here or you go places and you think you're in a hierarchy. You think you got to mind your business. You think you've got to, stay in line. And they tell you that you can't get out of line. And they tell you who's boss. And they tell you, you're just living here. You're just in this. And you can't listen to what they say. You have to feel that in your life, you're causing the matter and you can make a difference in any environment. I don't care if I work at Boeing. I don't care if I worked at Microsoft and I don't know shit about computers. There is going to be an art-sized hole in the goddamn wall at Microsoft. I'm going to make a ruckus. there's something's going to happen. I'm going to be causing the matter. I'm not going to listen to what they say. Hey, you don't know anything about computers. Yeah, I don't care. I'm not listening to what they say. And that's the thing. And you can't listen to what they say about your job, and you can't listen to what they say about recovery. Don't listen to what they say about recovery. It's yours. I didn't tell you not to do recovery. I didn't tell you don't take the advice of somebody when they say go to a meeting. I didn't tell you don't listen to what they say about getting a sponsor. I said just make it yours. Hear what they say, but you don't have to do it all, and you have to do you. And you have to be causing the matter of your recovery. That means you got to do something. That means that you've got to get new information coming in wherever you get it. But you don't have to. I'm not going to listen to what they say. I sat in rooms and people told me that I had to slow down. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. Oh, you shouldn't be doing that quickly. You're putting all your eggs in one basket. What if you relapse? I'm not listening to what they say. I knew inside I was causing the matter of my life, and I was convicted. And that's the difference. And you definitely, as a parent of a drug addict, do not listen to what they say. Because what they say is so 1982. What they say is the same shit they've been saying since they changed. And what they say is that addiction is from trauma. That's what they say. I found 100% that addiction seems to be closely related to drugs.
Addiction. Yeah.
And I haven't listened to, really I can nail it. 100% of drug addicts do drugs. Not 100% of experienced trauma, but 100% do drugs. 100% of alcoholics drink booze. So I kind of know the cause. I got it. I got to figure it. That doesn't mean I listen to, and I can change that.
Art, do you want to see the core values on the screen?
Yes. I remember.
All right. I got them. I just found them. Let's do it. It's been a while. Number 1, can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah. Number 1, we understand a family-first approach is essential to the success of our clients. Number 2, we as a team battle addiction through raising individual consciousness and personal responsibility for the Big 4.
Well,
number
Big 4, happiness, success, failure,
success,
and
unhappiness.
Yeah.
Number 3, the success of our program and our ability to serve is based solely on the spiritual growth of our team. Number 4, we are great because we are complete, transparent, and whole. We have integrity. Number 5, we don't believe or adhere to what they say. And number 6, everything we do must be cool.
Those stood the test of time.
Back from 2017, last edited in 17.
Yeah, those stood the test of time, man. Those are still our values. We might not be saying them all the time, but they're still there.
Yep.
So I hope that, I hope it helped. And I hope that, that's what you understand that you're learning here. And it's simple. You come to the conclusion that you're causing the matter. The next thing that should come up is how. And then it's simple. Maybe I'm trying to be causing the matter of my own life, but I haven't really figured out all the steps to do that. And so what I need to do is I need to know how, and that's a great position to be, because that's called coachability, and that's called a place that you can be to improve really quickly, really fast. Because I'm at a place where I understand I want to be causing the matter, and I'm having difficulty finding the next steps. I'm having difficulty getting along with people, whatever it is, and now I want to learn. And because I've based my life on this foundation that I'm causing the matter, for my life to improve, I must learn. I must learn. And that seems to be the only engine that drives the boat. But if that's lacking in you and you feel that other people are causing the matter of your life, until we get you to the place where you understand that's not true, you're going to be struggling immensely. And once you get to that conclusion, you will be done struggling. Now everything will just be an opportunity to learn. Now everything will be an opportunity to grow. So once again, an honor for you guys to chat with you all. Thanks for showing up. And we'll see you live next week. Please come. Thank you.
Good night, everybody. See you ladies in the morning. Good night. Good night.